the fook? I was trying to refrain from covering topic that troops were allegedly told by their commanders or whatever that they're doing a good thing by attacking Iran because this will hasten the return of Jesus Christ. They're doing God's will, which is total rubbish and poppycock. By the way, Franny, I saw you in the comment section last night. Chimed in. Good to see you. Where's Tony Todd been? Where are my old peeps? Arcadia from Canada. Where's he been? Where's a True Channel been? Where's Artemis been? Singe Man's been in the comment section quite a bit lately. But let me get back to this. I could have covered this easily. I have a news article about this, and it's alleged. What's the proof about this? This could just be fake news saying that the military is telling the soldiers that they're doing a good job, they're doing God's will, this will help Jesus to return, which is not true. Jesus returns on God's time, of which no man knows, not even Jesus himself or the angels knows. Only God knows when this is going to happen. So you're not hastening Jack, all right? But I think this is just all hearsay. To me, it just seems like fake news, but I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt this. I don't doubt anything these days. But let's listen to Dabu 7, just a minute and 38 seconds, and then we'll get into false flag by the Mossad here in America. Mass casualty event. Could it be a Deagle.com, Georgia Guidestones event?
Dabu 7, we've got some talk and a little bit of uproar here because of some statements made by the upper brass of our military.
Supposedly.
In regards to this war with Iran. Now, apparently, they put out the statement saying that you should prepare.
So this is all supposedly.
Because this is Armageddon. Telling troops that this is the big war. This is the one that's going to lead to the return of Jesus. And all of that. And that's upset some people within the ranks. There's been complaints that come from more than 40 different units spread across at least 30 military installations. Now, one of these troops here, an NCO, said that they were Christian and that they were emailing on behalf of 15 troops, including 11 Christians, 1 Muslim, and 1 Jew. They said that their commander urged them to tell all the troops that this was all part of God's divine plan, and that he specifically referenced numerous citations about the book of Revelations, referring to Armageddon and the imminent return of Jesus Christ. Now, those making the complaints right now are saying that these remarks destroy morale and unit cohesion, and that they're in violation of the oaths that they swore to support. They go on to state here how Pete Hegseth has enshrined evangelical Christianity at the uppermost levels of the U.S. military right now, and that this is where things sit.
I don't know how true it is. Again, this could be hearsay. Who's saying it? What soldiers? What people? What? Drop some names. You know what I'm saying? But who knows? Maybe Lou Ferrigno knows. But just take that with a grain of salt. You're not ushering in the return of Jesus. That happens on God's dime and time, not on anybody else's, not on man's. But let's take a look at this. To me, a more important thing. The Mossad. I guess it's a whistleblower saying is Israel, you planning a false flag attack that's going to knock down our grid and do horrific things here in America? Just listen to this. Because we didn't get the massive depopulation last year in 2025, which Deagle loves to do those population projections, and it didn't happen. Try as they might with their injecciones from 2020, for something that didn't exist, they didn't get the results that they so long for, these Luciferians. But could this be the year where 90% of Americans are killed in the name of let's just watch, shall we? This is unfucking believable. It's that guy again from the People's Voice. I'm pretty sure. And a Mossad insider claims that, well, there's a planned upcoming massive false flag inside the United States that's literally going to pretty much cause Israel, the United States, to be handed over to Israel. By the way, at the beginning of this video, hope you pressed the pause button. All these wars were planned, BTW. Now, I'm going to freshen up my beverage over here. We're going to listen to this. I'll be right back. But let's roll that beautiful bean footage, shall we? Let's listen to what he has to say.
The walls are closing in on the global elite. Their conspiracies are on.
And to think I used to be a big BB fan. I used to think this was a really good guy. This is years ago. I mean, he broke on the scene around 95 when I was living in Tennessee, and I was like, man, this guy's great. And, well, yeah. Roll forward 30 years later. He's not great at all.
Unraveling in real time. Their cover story shredded. And the public has finally stopped buying the script. Cornered and desperate, they're rolling the dice on the big one. Military insiders and cyber defectors are blowing the whistle. A dirty bomb false flag on US soil. Synchronized with a total cyber and communications blackout. Power grids fried, banks frozen, phones dead. Cities plunged into darkness and panic. The playbook, crystal clear. Ignite the outrage bomb, pin it all on Iran, and herd the masses screaming into World War III. Seize control of DC, shove every so-called anti-Semite into gulags, and roll out the one world government like it's destiny. This isn't theory anymore. This is the trap snapping shut. And the countdown just hit 0. Before we dive in, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join the People's Voice Locals community. To join our incredible community, support the...
Notice he said grid down. Notice he said banks shut down. I mean, I keep hearing calls for from various people, get your money out of the damn banks because you're going to lose it all. That's all it takes is banks shut down, grid down. Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Smith. I'm sorry, Franny. You don't have any moolah in the bank. That's out of our hands. We've been attacked. We've been attacked by Iran. Yeah, that they're going to do this. Remember this cyber attack, this cyber polygon? Remember that? Remember by Clown Slob of the World Economic Forum? There'll be such a massive cyber attack that will cripple all transportation. No grok stores, no food. It'll be no banking. Everything will come to a halt. Yeah, this is what they're saying, right? No money in the bank, grid down, total chaos. This is how they usher in their New World Order and massive depopulation event. Is that what we're looking at? Is that what I'm hearing? Because that's what it sounds like. Let's take a listen again.
Into war with Iran, all to serve Israel's Zionist agenda, Mossad operatives were caught red-handed in allied nations, scheming epic false flags to hijack the headlines and control the chaos. Ask yourself, why is the media actively covering up this information?
So it's probably hasn't been reported, but it's a fact that last night in Qatar and Saudi Arabia, authorities arrested Mossad agents planning on committing bombings in those countries. Now, that's weird. That doesn't make any sense. Why would the Israelis be committing bombings in 2 Gulf countries, which are also being attacked by Iran? Aren't they on the same side? No. Israel wants to hurt Iran and Qatar and UAE and Saudi and Bahrain and Oman and Kuwait.
And America. These countries host US military bases. These countries are US allies.
The Gulf is not a threat to us. We have military bases in these countries. These are some of our closest allies. All of them are closer allies than Israel, by far. They're our friends.
By the way, can anybody riddle me this? Do we have any bases in Israel? Because I've never heard of that. Have any bases in Israel? Do you know? He just said we have bases in all these Middle Eastern countries. They're closer allies to us in Israel. Do we have any bases in Israel? If we do, let me know. I'm not an expert on these things.
But they've been really hurt. And in a place like Dubai, which is basically part of a country, it's an emirate within the United Arab Emirates, but it's also a luxury brand, basically. People go to Dubai because it's beautiful and rich and clean, and above all, because it's safe and orderly. It's got the busiest airport in the world.
I thought there was a land of
You start
Hartsfield.
seeing video on Instagram of smoke in the Dubai airport, and you're like, I think I'm going to Cabo this year. Oh, sorry, drug cartels. Whatever. Maybe you go to Sedona this year. It really, really hurts these countries. And Israel wanted to hurt these countries. That's the point. Wanted to hurt these countries. Wanted to sow chaos and disorder.
The chaos and disorder is just getting started, according to military insiders.
Disorder. I'm sorry.
Who warn that Israel's false flags will not be limited to the Gulf. But before we dive into the details, let's pause for a moment on something truly disturbing. Israel has grown so confident, so untouchable in its position right now, that they're openly floating ideas for false flag operations. They're tossing around different scenarios, debating ways to stage incidents and mislead the world, all out in the open.
Missiles will hit the mosque and clear the place for the third Bet HaMikdash. That could also be a miracle. If it was up to me, the last time when they shot hundreds of missiles, I would pretend that one missile came from Iran and shoot it down. You know? Then all the Arabs will go against Iran and it will be the end of the problems. You make them fight with each other, this bunch of lunatics.
According to a high-level military insider, Israel is secretly plotting a major false flag attack on US soil, designed to be blamed on Iran, in a calculated bid to terrorize the public and march them in lockstep into World War III. Matt Bracken, a former Navy SEAL and geopolitical expert, shared these warnings to highlight the risks of escalation in the Middle East. Bracken referenced Israel's historical false flags, such as the 1967 Israeli attack on the USS Liberty, designed to draw America into war with Egypt. This remains the blueprint for how Israel might target US ships in the Persian Gulf today.
Whatever happens in Iran at this point could easily be teed up for a false flag. Just somebody in a building shoots into a crowd, and there's Trump and Netanyahu, and we've got the aircraft carriers, strike groups going in. But people need to understand something. And this, I printed something. It didn't turn out very well, but I'm a real map guy, a geography guy. Iran is like 5 times bigger than Iraq and 10 times bigger than South Vietnam. I mean, at one point we had 500,000 soldiers in South Vietnam, which is 1/10 the size of Iran. And at that time in the 1960s, our Navy was unchallenged. We could drive right to the coast of Vietnam and not be scratched. Aircraft carriers would park right off in North Vietnam, doing airstrikes all day long. We know now that's completely gone out the window. The Houthis, with drones and truck-launched small missiles, were able to drive our Navy out of the Red Sea. They drove us out of the Red Sea because the modern math doesn't work for our type of warfare.
Israel's able to sneak all these missiles and drones in to attack and kill a bunch of the Iranian leadership.
Don't get triggered, BitChute. It's AJ.
So Israel has infiltrated. Their operatives are absolutely false flag. If Trump says you kill civilians, I attack you, he just created a scenario for Israel to do a false flag.
Bracken is urging extreme vigilance in the coming weeks, predicting that a staged incident blamed on Iran could rally public support for war, bypassing congressional approval, and leading to catastrophic consequences for American forces and the entire world. And remember when I asked why the mainstream media is actively covering up the truth about Israel's actions? We've got the answer after the break. Warning, it's terrifying. The New World Order blueprint is rolling out faster than you can say Big Brother. And we've just been blindsided by a stealth strike from the shadows. Enter Larry Ellison, the world's second richest mogul, Oracle's overlord, now puppeteering TikTok's algorithm after Trump's forced handover, and gobbling up half of mainstream media like CBS and CNN to lock down the narrative. In a jaw-dropping slip, or was it? This pro-Israel billionaire spilled the beans on the elite's endgame. Total AI-fueled surveillance of every American. Cameras everywhere. Data harvested in real time. Citizens on their best behavior. Because the system is always watching, recording, judging. This isn't sci-fi. It's the trap closing. From 9/11's engineered chaos to Epstein's blackmail web. Now Ellison's digital panopticon ties it all together, herding us towards one world control.
The police will be on their best behavior because we're constantly watching and recording everything that's going on. Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on. And it's unimpeachable.
Let's be clear, this didn't happen overnight. The blueprint has been circulating for years.
Well, I mean, let's face it, we're being surveillance everywhere we go. You go to the fucking grocery store, you go to mainly self-checkout. They got the cameras there watching you to make sure you're not like pulling a fast one, like those idiots at Walmart that they'll ring several items up and let one slip into the bag, not ringing up. You know what I mean? They'll try to rob Walmart that way. So they got cameras that can review and watch your behavior and watch what you're doing. We're being surveillance with flock cameras. You're being surveillance with your router can track you in your home. You're being surveillanced or listened to by your tablets, your cell phones, your laptop. They could just turn that damn fucking camera on, right, and watch you, and you won't even know it. That's why they say put it like a tape over the camera. They could turn your cell phone on or your tablet, right? You just shut it off. Can't they turn it on? I could swear I came across that information years ago. So we're already being surveillanced, but I guess we're going to get more heavily surveilled because, cause a problem, we clamor for the solution, and they offer it. Problem, reaction, solution.
Among the same powerful interests who profit from crisis and control. And now their script is being followed to the letter. Remember Klaus Schwab's notorious announcement about an impending cyber attack? You didn't have to be a body language expert to see it.
I didn't watch this video. I didn't know they could put clown slob on there, but didn't I just say that? I'm watching it now with you guys. I didn't watch preview this. Polygon. Yeah, that piece of shit. I even showed you a video years ago if you followed me. It was no, it wasn't a video, but it was pictures, and it could have been fake, but I don't doubt it. It was him in he had a knee. What do you have? He had thigh high stockings on. Yeah, he had lingerie on. He was on a boat. Yeah. This is like 4 or 5 years ago. I came across that. Do you doubt that? Do you doubt that this is a cross-dresser? Do you doubt that? I don't doubt it. These people are wicked, man.
Professor Schwab's deranged excitement when hinting about a cyber attack worse than 9/11 wasn't normal. Students of history know this pattern. The global elite are using Israel to steer the world towards a new war.
Damn commercial.
Obliterate borders, leave nations shattered, and pave the way for a single centralized system of control. From the ruins, a new order will rise. Digital, authoritarian, and absolute. These elites, they bow down to Baal in their hidden rituals, viewing the rest of us as worthless cattle, fodder for their evil agenda. And make no mistake, they've slithered into every corner of power, quietly hijacking every government of the world, as the heavily redacted Epstein files lay bare for those brave enough to connect the dots.
Jeffrey Epstein's bank account was called Baal, the ancient Canaanite deity which people had sacrificed their children to. A victim's diary shows that she was impregnated multiple times and forced to give birth for Ghislaine and Epstein. Israel is mentioned twice as much as Donald Trump in the new documents. Here he is discussing with Roger Schank, a Jewish-American academic and hedge fund worker, saying Jews create vast fortunes by manipulating markets and creating financial speculation and exploiting labor. He says, let the Goyim deal in the real world. In a discussion with the Rothschild family,
so don't worry about
Epstein says if they overthrew the Ukrainian government, there would be great opportunities. The Rothschild family paid Epstein $25 million.
I can't read that. I can't see it. It's too little. So just listen.
For certain algorithms. While talking to Peggy Seigel, August 7th of 2010, she asks if an event is going to be 100% Jewish. He says no, they'll have Goyim in abundance. But don't worry, they're just brilliant wasps from JP Morgan. Joshua Finkelstein, BlackRock's Larry Finkelstein's son, is accused of not having any respect for non-Jews, seeing them as not human. This is from his ex-girlfriend, Svetlana. He pressures her to have an abortion. In 2017, Epstein has a conversation talking about if you want to hire the best people, you have to hire only Jews. Only hire those who can prove they are genetically Jewish. Maria Farmer, one of the first victims to come out and name Epstein.
I wasn't allowed to go get food. And when I called Ghislaine and asked why I couldn't eat there, she said, it's a Jewish country club. You're not Jewish. They're not going to serve you. They, honest to God, think their DNA is better than everybody else's.
Said that their operation was motivated by Jewish supremacy.
We've mentioned the USS Liberty, a brutal false flag that exposed Israel's playbook early. But when you talk false flags, you can't tiptoe around the big one. 9/11 has to stay dead center. It's the blueprint, the mother of all operations that kicked off endless wars, shredded freedoms, and rewired the world order. And this isn't dusty history. This trail circles right back to those Epstein files. The unsealed vaults of depravity aren't just about elite pedophile rings and underage blackmail. They're laced with intel bombs.
There were some files missing.
Yep.
Did you see the chart of the years that they're really missing from?
Mm-hmm.
And we can see that there is a massive gap between the years of 1999 to 2001, when you had the tech bubble blow up, when the Lewinsky impeachment trials happening, the election of 2000, the highly contested election of 2000, John Kiriakou.
Yep.
And then in 2001, you have the worst terrorist attack in United States history in New York and D.C. and in the skies that fell over Pennsylvania with United 93. And suddenly all these files are missing. But, John, we did get an email from 2003 that slipped through the cracks. This is from 2003. Someone named Ed Epstein sends an email to one Ghislaine Maxwell saying, any interest in being on the Shadow Commission on 9/11, the membership list is secret. She responds, thanks for the invite. Unfortunately, I cannot be on the Shadow Commission.
A shadow commission. It takes my breath away.
Here's the truth they don't want you to know. The VPNs you thought were your shield, your last line of defense against government and corporate surveillance, have already been hijacked. One Tel Aviv-based company with a long history of distributing malware has quietly bought up nearly all of the biggest VPNs on the planet. ExpressVPN, CyberGhost, private internet access, the list goes on. And the people they hire? Not random techies, not privacy activists, but veterans of Israel's most notorious intelligence units. Unit 8200. The cyber warfare arm behind one of the world's most advanced spying tools.
Keep hearing about Israel. You know, I mentioned to you guys a while back, on and off, that I was at Kroger. This was years ago. This was like probably 11 years ago, right? And it was in the evening. It was after work, and I saw this guy in a uniform. He must have been in his 60s, and it's just I was looking at the patches on there and everything, and I struck out. We just got to talking and everything, and this is what he said, that what was it, that he was in some branch of, was it policing or the military? I think it was military. It was one or the other. It doesn't matter. But what matters is, he said, yeah, we train with Israel. In other words, Israel had, I guess, soldiers over here, and they were training with us, either our military or our police. I think it was our military. It was some branch. This was a long time ago, but it had to do with Israel coming over here and sending people over here to train with us or train us or something like that. And that kind of blew me away. I was like, huh? Well, why would... I was thinking, but this is before I ever went down to any... This is before I even knew about chemtrails, all right? I mean, I didn't find out about chemtrails till like the end of 2016 or somewhere there, so a year later. This is before any of that. I wasn't making any of these videos or anything like that. And that was kind of weird. I was like, Israel? He goes, oh, yeah. We train a lot with Israel. We do a lot of things with it. And I thought, that's kind of weird. Like, but I was like, oh, whatever. That stuck with me ever since. I was like, that's weird. Why are we training with Israel? Why are we training with any country? Aren't we good enough to train ourselves, or train our own people? I mean, why do we have them coming over here? It kind of sort of makes sense now. Israel's like intertwined with just about everything, right? Now it makes sense.
And the Dovdadin unit, infiltration experts turned executives. This is a red alert. If you're using a traditional VPN, you need to cancel your subscription immediately. You're under attack.
They're compromised.
That's why in 2026, VP.net exists to solve this urgent problem.
Oh, but this one's
using
better.
zero
Okay.
trust
All right.
architecture
Well, listen.
and next gen.
Supposedly they're planning some kind of false flag. Who knows? I don't know. You know the drill. Maybe Lou Ferrig knows. I don't know. But what I do know is a shoe is about to drop, and they gotta make it drop right at some point, and banks closing, and you lose all your money, and the central digital banking, blah blah blah, digital currency, clamping down on us with more surveillance, massive depopulation, 15-minute cities, new world order. It's here. This is why, and this is one of the reasons why I don't have time for a pissing contest with fucking trolls, stupid people showing up in my comment section saying stupid things, making stupid personal attacks. Zero tolerance, zero time for that. All right, it's not getting real. It is real. Oops. Pun intended or no pun intended? I don't know. It is real. It's real, very real. What's happening? Shaking my head. That's what I got for you. Don't be a troll out there. If you see a troll, say something. Get. You know what? Yeah, stock up. But most importantly, this isn't all there is. You should know the drill by now. If you're an atheist and you don't think there's an afterlife, you're going to be rudely awakened once you take your last breath here on terra firma. This ain't all there is. There is an afterlife. I showed you, didn't I show you in that video? 2 things you need to worry about. And at the end of it, it was like heaven or hell. And if you go to hell, 2 things you need to worry about. Are you going to be original or extra crispy? Yeah. Very real. The afterlife. This is just a drop in a bucket. Eternity awaits us. So, either going up or you're going down. Whether you believe that or not. No time for a pissing contest with anybody. Keep your comments civil and respectful. I'm